Oi! Hey, you want to buy some mushrooms? Wait a second. What guild are you from? Well, you don't know or you won't tell me. Well, either way, whatever you are, wherever you hail, we'll get to the bottom of it. Come on, I'll take you to Gerard. He'll know what to do with you.
So you want to play in the world of RAVNICA, but the question is, what character are you going to play? Slight spoiler warning ahead, so run this video by your DM if you are planning a campaign set in RAVNICA. This Magic the Gathering inspired setting is focused on 10 different guilds, all vying for control over a vast city. However, that nearly destroyed all the world that they knew, so a pact was made and forced each respective guild to be bound to a single aspect of the city. Aspects like law, farming, or banking, but we'll get into that. 10,000 years after the pact was made, it was broken, plunging the city into a guild war once more. A band-aid was put on it with a new pact, but it was bestowed onto one man, Jace Beleren, a planeswalker, who unfortunately leaves the plane for long periods of time. During those trips, it is only a matter of time before the citizens become restless once more. So let's figure out where your character or next important NPC fits into this ecumenopolis by going over each guild and those who populate it. But first, our sponsor for today's video, Phoenix Performance Coaching, a 100% online personalized health and lifestyle coaching specifically built for tabletop gamers. So you. Over a month ago, Jordan Yaklin, the head coach of the company, reached out to me and offered a complimentary trial through the program, and honestly, I'm incredibly thankful for it. With not only having ttrpgs and video games as hobbies, I am also constantly at the computer desk for work. This work. So it was really impressive how personalized the workouts became, with Jordan working with my schedule and goals for weight loss and muscle gain. And throughout the workout, I let him know about changes I wanted in my workouts or had to skip for some sick days. And changes were made that very day. It was amazing not only having a good report system and easy app to work with, but it really felt like I was talking to a friend that had my best interests in mind. Now, I focus on the workout side of things, but nutrition counseling is also available if you're just trying to eat better. So sign up today and your first month is completely risk-free. Feel good about your health and have the energy and mental clarity you need to run amazing games. Link below in the description. Azorius Senate. Those are the lawmakers and enforcers of RAVNICA. 3 separate factions within work together to create the legal system. House Jalen writes the laws, House Sova discusses and argues over them, and House Liev enforces the laws. While their vision is utopia, their legal power often causes friction with those who don't agree, especially with the magics that they use. Peace and safety by compliance. So some great characters here would be a Scribe's Wizard that works in House Jalen, a College of Eloquence Bard in House Sova, or an Oath of Crown Paladin or Eldritch Knight in House Liev. The RAVNICA supplement also specifically gives us the Order Domain Cleric that shows devotion to law and order that fits well in many of these houses. This guild also is known to use enchantment magics to force truth-telling and divination magics to stop crime even before it's committed. As for feats, look for Inspiring Leader, Keen Mind, Linguist, Warcaster, or Sentinel. Boros Legion. This guild stands in contrast to the Azorius Senate, not as lawbreakers, but just as fighters in their own way. If Azorius Senate are lawful good, the Boros Legion is chaotic good. While one is the letter of the law, the other is the spirit of the law. Not rules as written, but rules as intended. With actual angels aiding them and with the zeal of religious force, they assure that things are truly fair and righteous to the individual. But this also makes them out to be much more like vigilantes than actual law enforcers. Many clerics of light, life, and peace domains would be a great fit, as well as an Oath of Redemption or Devotion Paladin. I could also see a dedicated Way of the Sun Soul Monk or Path of the Zealot Barbarian amongst the ranks. With all the celestial influence going on, you could also create a fun story involving the angels with Divine Soul Sorcerer or the Celestial Warlock. I would invest in feats like Divinely Favored, Mounted Combatant, Martial Adept, Slasher, or Great Weapon Master. Golgari Swarm. While starting at the top, we are now going to the very bottom with the Golgari Swarm. Former sewer workers, farmers, and deepest of the city dwellers now find home among the filth and rot of the Undercity. They see civilization as a whole to be the problem and wish things to go back to primitive ways. The relationship now is symbiotic with the world and creatures that live with them in the sewage. Perfect for another subclass that the book provides, the Circle of Spores Druid, one who handles the grime and fungi of nature. You may also find a Stormkeeper Ranger of rats or roaches down here, or a Gloomstalker Ranger that finds solace in the shadowy dungeons. I also see an interesting undead warlock that has fused themselves with the mushrooms of the dark, visually giving off the Last of Us vibes. And in a world of just city, it might be the best place to find your scout rogues as they navigate the moldy tunnels, or your alchemist artificer that uses the mold for their poisons. Try out feats like Poisoner, Durable, Magic Initiate for Druid, and Dungeon Delver. House Dimir, basically known as the Librarians, but there is a little bit more to them. There are major spoilers here, so skip ahead again if you need. For this house, it's also a network of spies, leading the charge to control the world through misinformation and manipulation. Fear-mongering, propaganda, and secrets make up the whole of House Dimir. But the great thing about this house is that their influence spans across all of the guilds, so be careful who you talk to in your own guild, they might secretly be a Dimirian. These spies also use special memory magic to hide information and pass information to others within it, their own form of thieves' cant, if you will, especially in the hands of arcane trickster rogues. Your enchantment wizards and illusion wizards may also sit side by side with assassin and mastermind rogues. A College of Whispers bard with their own manipulation prowess would also be a helpful addition to their cause. Or a lore bard, knowledge domain cleric that keeps up their library front, or just passes on false information. And you didn't hear it from me, but with certain bloodlusting, fanged individuals at the head of this house, might also be a good opportunity to play a Dhampir race or something in the Blood Hunter class. Think Underworld with this one. Take feats like Dual Wielder, Crusher, Piercer, Skulker, or Observant. Izzet League, full of engineers, inventors, and mages with ambitions, lean towards progress and invention just for the sake of invention. Risks are just as familiar to them as explosions that are caused by them, as they constantly push what is possible in the world of artifice and magic. Some to the benefit of society and some to the detriment. Pretty obviously a great place for your artificers of all sorts, whether it be armorer, battlemaster, or artillerist, or even your warforged race being created here. A Clockwork Soul Sorcerer might be an interesting person of interest, being born of invention, or a Chronergy Wizard that gained the same skills through study. What other invention is more worthy of pursuing than the magic of time? There's also a unique fighter subclass in one of my most recent issues of monthly magazines, the Tradesman Fighter, one that uses their tools to optimize special skills in their fighting. Use your inventive mind to invent new ways to subdue an enemy. Free for my Patreon members, which you can subscribe to the magazine below in the description, or just find it on my website. And then one more secret of the Izzet League is that it is run by a dragon, so hey, there is your connection for your Way of Ascendant Dragon Monk. So of course, some feats that might work well is the gift of the Chromatic Dragon, Artificer Initiate, Gunner, or Prodigy. Gruul Clans. These are barbarians and savages that hold similar ideas to the Golgari Swarm in the sense they don't want a civilization. However, while the Swarm seeks a world run by nature, the clan just wants destruction. Basically, the Blue Avatar versus Mad Max. They want a lawless wasteland where the rejected thrive. They do what they want and don't let anyone tell them otherwise. Impulsiveness reigns supreme. So enact your barbarian fantasies with the Pass of the Beast, Berserker, or Storm Herald to channel the hate that you have for society. But I also see an interesting Way of the Long Death Monk wanting to see the downfall of all those who they deem deserve it, or a War Domain Cleric that is striving to appease the gods of war and chaos. Fighters such as the Battlemaster or Cavalier also could be roaming with these 8 total city clans, as the fight for dominion even among themselves is a daily occurrence. So take feats like Savage Attacker, Shieldmaster, Athlete, Heavily Armored, or Grappler. Orzhov Syndicate. Best alluded to as the bankers of RAVNICA, they skirt by money laundering and other schemes under the guise of being a religious organization. So that includes paying money for the assurance of your soul. And if you're in debt, then expect to become a ghost with unfinished business, not allowed to move on until your debts are paid. With both money and religion at their backs, you could say that they are the most influential of all of the guilds. So with ghosts and golds, perhaps you are in an Ancestral Guardian Barbarian or Astral Self Monk, where you are haunted by a recently deceased ancestor as their debt is now passed on to you. Or another Undead Warlock or Phantom Rogue where you yourself are the living dead, cursed to work until you get enough coin. Or maybe you are a Thief Rogue member of the Syndicate taking from pockets directly. A Forged Domain Cleric that heads up a religious part of the guild, but also melts down gold for their own coin. or you can be a necromancy wizard or grave domain cleric, making sure that those with depths don't die. So take feats like Alert, Magic Initiate for Cleric, Lucky, or Shadow Touched. Cult of Rakdos, aka the Clown Cult, is the picture next to Chaotic Evil in the dictionary. At face value, they are performers, artists, dancers, and thespians. But these performances are also a not so hidden but actively celebrated worship of their demon god Rakdos, embodiment of lust, evil, selfishness, and carnal desires. They embody the saying YOLO, as they think life is too short to worry about the rules and they should just be celebrated. Eat, be merry, and die, so everything they do to the other guilds are just for fun. So pick up juggling swords with the Way of Kensei Monk, or acting and singing with the College of Glamour Bard. If you really wanted to lean into the devil worshipping part of it, a Fiend Warlock is a perfect choice, but a Shadow Magic Sorcerer, Way of Shadow Monk, or Death Domain Cleric might also gain their power from the evil forces that this cult supports. But if you really wanted to lean into the trickery part of this guild, maybe try the Trickery Domain Cleric or Wild Magic Sorcerer. Take feats like Actor, Eldritch Adept, Mobile, or Tavern Brawler. Simic Combine, another group of nature scientists obsessed with body modifications, force evolution, and biological experimentation. They hope that this may push all of Ravnica to become higher beings above all the war and desecration. They are engineers of flesh, but focus mainly on aquatic adaptations and research of ocean life run by mostly high elves. Among all the passive utopia, of course they think that this is the best course to take, the Simic hybrid being their living creation of that idea. A race given by this book, a creature with body modifications of aquatic life that may include crab claws or octopus tentacles instead of hands. Other races highlighted in the book are centaurs, loxodons, minotaurs, and Vidalcan, all of which can fit into a menagerie of different guilds, but the Vidalcan, being partially amphibious, could also help a lot with the Simic Combine. I see immediately these methods could be in the hands of Circle of the Shepherd Druids with Animals of the Sea, or a Circle of the Land Coast Druid for similar reasons, or you are one of the many experimented on as a sea-themed Beast Barbarian or water-focused Fathomless or Genie Warlock. Or strap on some electric eelhide and squid ink shooter for a very interesting artillerist artificer. I would try feats like Magic Initiate for Sorcerer or Wizard, Metamagic Adept, Resilient, or Elemental Adept. Selesnya Conclave, the tree huggers of Ravnica. They don't believe we should destroy civilization altogether like the Golgari Swarm or manipulate its magics like the Simic Combine. They desire for nature and civilization to become one and work together in harmony. Very solar punk of them, if you will. If you don't know what that is, check out my solar punk video in the cards. They search for peace and tranquility instead of laws and arbitration, and then they protect it at all costs with their army of Green Knights. These Green Knights could be your Oath of Ancients Paladin or an interesting growing into a tree Rune Knight fighter. An Archfey Warlock or Fey Wanderer Ranger could come from the many Dryads that make their home here as well. For those that work to better this union with nature and city, there is the Nature Domain Cleric, Circle of the Moon Druid, and Circle of Dreams Druid for the Fey influence again. You can also find a Circle of the City Druid on my website if you want to sway people like you do beasts of the forest and stride through buildings like you would a tree. Look at feats like Fey Touched, Fey Teleportation, Healer, or Magic Initiate for Druid. Luckily, whatever guild you do choose to be a part of in Ravnica, each gives you a background in the book to help you accomplish your place in the vast city. Azorius Functionary, Boros Legionnaire, Dimir Operative, Golgari Agent, Gruul Anarch, Izzet Engineer, Orzhov Representative, Rakdos Cultist, Selesnya Initiate, or Simic Scientist. Something I thought was really fun was this choice chart to figure out where your own ideas may land. Go ahead and pause the video here and do it yourself. Whatever you choose, make sure to be in good standing with the guild in order to get special perks, magic items, and other features depending on your renown score with them. Or be a strange guildless party that can work their renown with multiple opposing guilds. Any guild's views and thoughts also being readily accessible in the Guildmasters guide. I won't be going over these things for every guild, it's a long video as it is. However, if you want to hear the breakdown of guild interactions and renown perks, go ahead and leave a like on this video and comment down below. If this video gets lots of traction, I will absolutely oblige. Until then, tell me what guild you would join and how yours is better than all the others. If you are looking to create characters in Dragonlance, Icewind Dale, or other campaign settings, check out the rest of my playlist here. But in the meantime, go out there and spread the good word of ttrpgs and make the world a better place, both on and off your table. See you in the next one.